All right, welcome back to the Tool World Podcast. I'm your host, David Jew, and I'm here with Master Jew.
How's it going there, Mr. Jew?
It's going okay.
Nice and chilly here in California.
Yes, 50 degrees or 40.
Bring out the parka.
Yeah. All right, now this week we're gonna be talking a little bit about. Well, I want to get your thoughts.
Okay.
On
another thought.
You should do Taekwondo for the love of the art.
Right.
But I say you should also still have a commercial gym.
I say that too.
But those almost sometimes seem a little conflicting at times.
Right.
All right, and so let's dive into that a little bit. So, what's your thoughts on that?
I've heard that argument a lot, but definitely instructors should do it for the love of the art. And I think what General Che was talking about was don't do Taekwondo for money.
So General Che said this.
Right.
Okay.
I think it's in an encyclopedia. I don't remember where it is located exactly, but I believe that's the idea is basically don't do it because of you want to make a profit from it. You want to make money, but do it for the love of the art. So a lot of times I talk to like different instructors and they'll talk about, well, if you have a commercial school, are put under certain situations where your values may be compromised. In other words, and I kind of understand what you're saying. When you have a commercial school where you have to pay rent and you have to pay insurance, you probably have to do that anyway, no matter what it is, whether you
do it depends if you do it at like
at your garage,
or community center. Yes, a lot of times. You don't have to pay for the rent. You just offer the class.
Right? Yeah, but that's because the community center might cover that.
Right. But a lot of those places or a lot of like smaller clubs might operate that kind of way.
But if you did it out of the garage or in the park, you are still a little bit liable with some of those things, specifically for injuries. And I think that's what, if you have to pay for like those kind of services, insurance and, your rent and stuff like that, and you're trying to make ends meet. Well, let's talk specifically about a commercial dojang like what we have where it's in a shopping center and you're paying thousands of dollars and every month you've got to make those payments or they're going to evict you. And so if you don't have enough students and you might be compromised and you go, well, I'll just go ahead and test people and just kind of like move them along or I'll just take anybody or just to cover those bills. And so maybe you could be compromised in that way. Or
you're just dealing with a lot more people.
Lot more people. So I hear those arguments and I go, okay, well, maybe. Or it depends on how you run your dojang. Some people just don't want to do that. And I get that too because you do have to be business minded. And that's different than being really good at Taekwondo, the theories and stuff like that.
Right.
And some people are not able to track people, maybe because of personality or not that they don't have the Taekwondo knowledge. It's just that maybe I don't want to go work out with that guy.
Right.
And so, and you do find people like that. You go, oh, yeah, he's very knowledgeable, but maybe not the most exciting instructor. And so maybe he wouldn't have a lot of students. And so that person's going to be, if he had a commercial dojang, it's maybe really hard. I always kind of think that from a commercial point of view, the commercial dojang is that we have to be kind of the master of Taekwondo, and then you have to be the master of the dojang. I think of it two separate things. Dojang is how you run your dojang.
All right, so then why should people start a studio? First off, there's the first level, starting in a YMCA or out of your garage, and then there's the second level, getting into a commercial space as well, right? So why would each person want to go into both positions? Let's say I'm a third dan and I don't have anything. So why should I first start teaching?
In a commercial
No, growing my way towards that. Or maybe I just jump right in. What is your suggestion?
I would say, when I think about my earlier years, and I kind of, I understood this idea about do Taekwondo for the love of the art and not for money. And so, I used to teach out of a community center I did it out of my house. But you know, all of that experience, I realized, you know what? No matter what situation you are in, you still have some kind of cost that is associated. I remember I was doing it out of a community center, and we wanted to get some sparring gear. And so I says, yeah, I'm not in it for the money. And so I would sell the gear at what my cost. And then I didn't realize that, oh, wait, I forgot about the shipping charge.
Right.
And that's not a big deal. I mean, a few bucks here, a few bucks there. But then over time, it's like, you know what? I've got to charge a little bit more here to cover that cost.
Right.
And that's just a very small part of it. And so there's just no way to get around there's some kind of cost, even memberships. You know, if you want to belong to an organization, you've got some kind of student membership. That's going to be a cost, so you got to pass it on to the student, or you could pick it up. Unfortunately, I wasn't that financially successful to be able to pick up that portion. And so I've done rec departments and YMCAs and did it out of my house. I did it at my job, actually in the dining room, not in the dining room, but the cafeteria. Can you imagine that?
No, I
We're
can't.
stretching out while people are eating. But they were okay with it. They said, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's fine. And then the reason why I started our commercial dojang is because I became a 4th degree black belt. And I did have a lot of people that were coming to the area and then ask, oh, when do you have class? And, well, it's on Tuesday, such and such. And, oh, I'm in San Francisco, and it's like too far away. And so that time doesn't work out. And I kind of felt like as a 4th degree that I should have more of a commercial school. And so I just started it. Didn't have a very big space. It was 1,000 square foot. And the rent was okay. It was okay where I could pay for it myself without any students. Although wouldn't be going anywhere. Well, actually, I didn't go anywhere for a long time.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't have the income. But what I did find was that, and I encourage people to have a commercial school, is I was able to train with more people than I did out of a Parks and Rec. You know, out of like a community center, Parks and Rec, I didn't have more than 30 students. And I know there are some people. I know an instructor that did it out of YMCA, and he had like 100, and that was awesome. It's like there's no cost, and it's just like, that was like, wow, that's nice. But for me, I didn't have really not very many in those kind of locations. But since we've opened our dojang, we've trained with thousands. I mean, over the years, I don't know how many, but it's got to be a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, one of the problems with like a YMCA community center is that your demographic is very limited.
Right, it's limited to
Because
the
it's whoever,
YMCA.
we have YMCA or whoever sees those kind of things, which can be good and bad. You get to see, you get some people looking into it because they're looking through whatever your ad magazine or website. But if you have a commercial space, you do get like walk-bys. You know, you get people in the center, right? And then, you know, I think we're coming to a day and age of like where people come to like nicer things as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure, because like in our environment, we can control certain things. You have mats, you know, you got bags, you got all the equipment.
Right.
Whereas I remember at the YMCA, we had a room, and I had to bring all that stuff.
Right.
And so it's not as conducive for that. I mean, we do have 2 locations. One's in San Ramon, one's here in Pleasanton, but we don't do the testing in San Ramon because we don't have all the equipment there. For instance, we don't have a braking machine or, you know, those kind of things. And it's just easier to do it here in Pleasanton because we're set up for those kind of things. If I could go back in time, and if I had someone that had a successful dojang that could mentor me, I would like to have done that before, as opposed to just doing a community center or something like that. No, nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, if I had a chance, I would have liked to have jumped more into it. But at that time, there wasn't very many commercial dojangs.
Right.
As far as ITF, there were like maybe WTs
or karate.
Yeah. And they were, I don't know if they were successful, but you know, my instructor, Grandmaster Sabri Saleh, he had this I don't know, it was 500 square foot
Yeah.
dojang. But I found them. I think he struggled. And
Yeah.
and I just remember saying, you know what, I don't think I want to be a Taekwondo instructor.
Yeah.
Because of all of those things. It's like the dojang was kind of small, it was smelly, it was like a dungeon in a way.
Yeah.
And
Well, he turned out okay,
he,
right?
yeah, he turned out okay. He moved back to Malaysia. But there is this aspect of the dojang, and there are lots of organizations that can help with that area. And like one of the organizations that I like to communicate is the ASA Group. Give a shout out to Master Chan. And they talk about how to help with the dojang. And can you keep the integrity of Taekwondo, keep a high standard, and still be successful? Because it doesn't, just because you love the art doesn't mean that you can't make money either,
Right.
right? Because you kind of need that.
We got to keep it going.
You got to keep
You
it
gotta keep
going,
it going.
because if I go broke, then what happens? The Taekwondo goes away. If we went broke here in Pleasant, then there won't be ITF Taekwondo, not right now, unless some
Yeah.
other instructor decides to step it up.
All right, well, let us know your guys' thoughts on having commercial school and doing it for the love of the art. As always, don't forget to be safe,
Keep training.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Taekwondo.